Today, I want to talk to you guys about the 3 Ravens players that are under the most pressure from the news of Odell Beckham coming to the Ravens. First, I want to start with the most obvious one, and of course, that's Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman has had some trouble in his seasons as a Baltimore Raven. You can see his stats on the screen now. He has several injuries that have plagued his first 2 years in the league. However, this is the year that it's time to step up. He had some words for Eric DeCosta saying that Eric DeCosta was the reason that he hasn't been successful in Baltimore, saying that the offense and the players haven't been around in order for them to set up and do what they have to do. Now, it wasn't really him coming at Eric DeCosta, but Eric DeCosta mentioned that the receivers need to step up. So that's how he kind of got involved in that. Now, I agree that he needs to step up because he is supposed to be the number 1 receiver. Bateman has some really good traits, right? He's fast enough. He has the ability to run multiple routes, but not all the routes yet. But he's explosive in certain routes that make him dangerous. Again, he can catch the ball. He doesn't have too many drops. I don't think, especially compared to someone like James Prochet. So I'm okay with him in his production. However, the number 2 receiver spot is completely filled now, right? He's been playing like a number 2 receiver, and at times, Devin Duvernay, who had more touchdowns and yards than he did last season, play like a number 1 receiver. We can't have that because Devin Duvernay is not ready for that, right? This team, if Rashad Bateman takes that next step up, the receiving core could be great. Now, what do I mean by that next step up? He has to have over 1,000 receiving yards, and he has to have at least high single-digit touchdowns, right? Again, I don't know what kind of offense the Ravens are going to run. I assume it will still be run-heavy, so you can't expect him and Mark Andrews to both get 10 touchdowns. But if he can get 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, Odell Beckham will be the number 2 receiver. Then you really start cooking with gas. You have Devin Duvernay come in at the number 3 receiver and can also, be a cool, Cordero Patterson-like threat out the backfield. That is a multiple offense that can run the ball with the running backs, run the ball with Lamar, throw the ball deep, run the ball with Duvernay, throw the ball to Odell. It's going to be something that is going to be awesome, right? And then everybody else fills in, right? Of course, you have Mark Andrews that fills in as well, right? He's going to be not filling in, but he will be there and making a big impact. So I honestly think that Rashad Bateman has the most pressure on him, simply because he's the only player in this 3 that I'm going to name that isn't proven and doesn't have the money yet. Number 2, of course, is Odell Beckham, right? Odell Beckham has secured the bag. $15 million guaranteed, $18 million with incentives. However, this is where Odell Beckham gets to prove, 1, I can stay healthy, and 2, I'm still Odell Beckham, right? Odell has had some off-the-field trouble. He got kicked off a plane. Not serious trouble, but, enough for him to be in the news. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a tabloid machine. But if he can come back and become a productive receiver for the Ravens, this will skyrocket him in terms of relevancy again in the National Football League. Not relevancy with the fans, not even relevancy with the players. The fact is that Odell Beckham had real trouble getting a team to give him $10 million guaranteed, which is nothing for a number 1 receiver. So teams don't think he's the number 1 receiver. Now, we did it because he's going to try to help out the number 3 person with the most pressure on him grow and mature. But currently, Odell Beckham has to take that step up in order to prove to everyone that not only am I a good, number 3, number 2 receiver that you saw with the Rams on a pass-heavy offense, but I can be a number 2A or a number 1B receiver. And if he does that, he'll reinvigorate his career. He'll be able to sign a 2 to 3 year deal wherever he goes next. It'll be worth at least $10 million a year, easy, when he was having trouble getting that this time around. So I honestly do believe that this is a big year for Odell Beckham. The third person, and probably the most important person, maybe doesn't have the most pressure, is Lamar Jackson, right? And the reason that I couldn't put Lamar Jackson at 1 is simply because Lamar Jackson is not, right now, a Baltimore Raven, right? He has not signed his franchise tag. He has not accepted a deal. So technically, he's on the open market. Now, we have his rights, but he's not technically a part of the Baltimore Ravens, and it's even said that he does not want to be a part of the Baltimore Ravens. So you got to take that into account, right? We can't be ignorant of that, for sure. However, I do think with this signing, it does mean that Lamar is still going to look for what he wants, that fully guaranteed deal. But if he doesn't get it, he has no problem coming back to the Ravens. Now, when he comes back, there'll be a couple of things that have changed. 1, he's on a franchise tag. So anytime you're on a franchise tag, it's a prove-it deal. So that's the first thing. 2, the Ravens made a splash at receiver. Not a big splash, but a splash nonetheless. People are going to be looking at Lamar Jackson now, and they're going to be saying, Lamar, we've got out and gone and got you a receiver, a number 1 receiver. You have a guy, it's Odell Beckham. You know, people love the names. It's Odell Beckham Jr. This is the guy that you said that you wanted, and we got him for you. Here you go. Here's that receiver. Oh, we also used first-round draft picks in the past to get you receivers. We've used 2 first-round draft picks, and you couldn't make it work with Hollywood Brown. He wanted out, and now you got Bateman, right? So, you know, we're not going to talk about the injuries that both Rashad Bateman and Odell Beckham had over the last couple of years. You know, we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about, you know, the good stuff. Oh, also, you said the offensive coordinator was holding you back? Well, here are new schemes like you wanted. Here are new schemes. Here's a ability to pass the ball. Now we have Todd Monken. He's good at that. He was the best coordinator in college football based on the results of the last 2 years. This is what you want, right, buddy? Here you go. Take it. Now do something with it. Don't complain. We've gone and gotten everything that you wanted. And brothers and sisters, this is one of the things that is going to be held against Lamar next season, right? This is what I think is going to happen. Lamar's going to go through the season unscathed. He might miss a game for injury, but I don't think it'll be too much. And then, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl changes everything. But if you don't win the Super Bowl, they're going to say, hey, man, we got you all these pieces and you couldn't get it done. What's that about? Come on now. You got a new offensive coordinator, a new receiver. Your 2 running backs are healthy again. Your offensive line is healthy again. You know, your receivers are healthy again. You still have Mark Andrews. They're going to say all that good stuff. And it's going to really put pressure on Lamar. He would be number 1 on my list, but since he's not a Raven, and to be honest, in the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the Ravens could draft a quarterback, and this is mute, right? The Ravens could trade Lamar. This is mute. Someone can offer Lamar fully guaranteed, you know, and this is mute, right? I don't know how the season tickets for the Atlanta Falcons are doing, but if they're not doing too good, they know someone they can call and get those season tickets up. So that's what I think. Those are the people who I think are the most under pressure due to Odell Beckham signing with the Ravens. You guys let me know if you agree in the comments below. Thanks. Go Ravens.